You wish I was buying that. We got something even cuter. So another museum rescue from the Antique Gas and Steam Museum up in Vister, and just talking to the owner. He said that it was his dad's, and he said that was their old tractor and hasn't ran in about 10 years, and it fired right up. So here we go, guys. I'm not sure the year. I'll let you know, but it's a Ferguson. My guess is 1948 Ferguson.
Stinky. Yeah. Okay, so I'm Whitney. I'm the other half of Automotive Villainy. I'm usually behind the camera, but I wanted to introduce, obviously, our next project. This is mainly on me. So we needed a lawnmower because we do have a little bit over an acre of land. But riding lawnmowers, they were kind of expensive, and all they do is mow the lawn. So I come from a farmer community, so I've grown up around tractors. My dad collected Massey's. I've ridden and drove Model A John Deere's, Molene's. So, and to be honest with you, I thought I was going to completely get away from that, but here I am with my own tractor. So we decided, well, why don't we just look into getting a tractor instead of a lawnmower, so it's more versatile for what we need, like grading the driveway, digging post holes. But granted, we were looking for a smaller one. Literally, I was looking for like a Massey Pony would be the perfect size, something that's bigger than a riding lawnmower, but still big enough as a tractor, right? Little hard and difficult in California because there's not really a whole lot of tractors, especially in Southern California. But we came across this guy on Craigslist, and as you've seen, we got it from a museum. So we did think it was a TO30, but it's actually, once I did some research on the with the VIN number and everything, it's actually a TO30. And the year is 1953, which was actually the time that Ferguson was purchased or merged with Massey Harris at that time. So this is obviously an American-built one with the TO. That means overseas, because Ferguson is actually an English company. So what we've learned from the previous owners is they bought this back in the late 50s, early 60s. It had been completely rebuilt in the 1980s, which is kind of why I guess it's green and yellow, because they only had John Deere paint, and instead of just buying more paint, they just used what they had in their shop. But it's actually been sitting for the last 10 years. The gentleman's father passed away They did a little bit of some rebuilding to get it started again so that they could drive it during his funeral. But since then, it's just been sitting for the past year. So we got it home and we're going to do some things, some restoration. It's not going to be probably a full restoration because we bought this as a, functioning thing that we need to actually use out in the field. But granted, I'm actually surprised of its size. It's super tiny compared to the things that I used to drive back in high school. So I'm actually kind of excited to get started on this, mainly because it's mainly me who's doing like gardening and orcharding and all that. So it's going to be mainly my puppy. Okay, so to give a little bit of a background about the TO30 is Ferguson was an English tractor company, and one of the first models was the TO, or they called it the TE20 over in England. The E meaning England, and then the overseas version was called the TO. But these were built after they had already, Ferguson had gone in with Ford to get them over here, and then they broke it off and they went back to being Ferguson's. And then at that time, Ford decided to come out with the 8N as well as, as a competition. So then in 1940 something, I can't remember when, but they came out with the TO30, which gives it a little 10 more horsepower, and we're talking about 32 horsepower. So not a whole lot, but that's not what tractors are for. So they're not meant to be speed demons. All right. So obviously it's been sitting a while, so we've got some like really weird, wore out front wheels or front tires. So those will have to replace, because I mean they're not holding air in them. You saw that in the video. So this here radiator hose is pretty stiff, so we're probably going to replace that. I did pull the distributor cap off and it all looks good, but if we upgrade it, we upgrade it. I definitely know that we will want to upgrade petcock, just because, as they age, they kind of get clogged up. Maybe we can just clean it up, but we'll see when we get to that point. I'm going to clean it up because obviously there's years of grease and oil buildup. Granted, some of that's natural, but we'll see what's unnatural and what needs to get fixed, right? So, we're missing some speedometers, or not speedometers, some gauges, obviously, due to its age. It has a key slot, but there's no keys to it. Usually, you start it, there's a shift to start it. So don't think we'll ever get that, and I'm not really worried about it. No one's going to steal a tractor, especially here in California. People barely know how to drive. So here's the 3-point system that obviously you can attach different things to. Obviously we're going to do a lawnmower attachment, but I might look into some other things just based on what I want to do, and what we can actually find out here. Might have to go to Arizona or something. So one thing that I have noticed is this drum is actually clean of grease, and we've got kind of a gap. So I don't know if this is the one that's got problems where we're not getting that full stopping. This one over here is covered in grease. So, and forgive me if I am just sounding ignorant. I'm learning all about this shit. So we'll see once we get these off. So the one thing is the owner did give us some back tires. He did replace this one. There's some weather rot, but I mean, it's a tractor. I'm not concerned about that. Like, we'll use it until they, are done. But this one over here, obviously, is pretty bald. There's not a whole lot there. But he's got the other one. We're just going to have to go and you know, pick it up and change it out, which is going to be kind of interesting because, as you can see, we have wheel weights and we don't exactly have like a lift to lift this whole tractor up. So we'll see. It's going to be a challenge, but we can do it. I mean, you've seen we've challenged ourselves against other things. So what's another thing? And then the hydraulics, we haven't really tried the hydraulics yet, just because we'll get into that when we start, you know, seeing what needs to be done. As I stated, the brakes for some reason don't feel like they're working, but here, yeah, so we'll figure it out. Like, apparently these were a aftermarket plate, because they were like called safety plates. This was actually the only way, only place you could put your foot if you didn't order the plates, the safety plates as they call them. So we've got our oil filter, so we're probably gonna look at that, see if it's any good, probably order a new oil filter for it. Got your choke, and then like I said, we're missing gauges. Things, you know, I mean, it's a 50-year-old, well, 50. It's almost an 80-year-old tractor, so it's got the right to be missing some shit. The one thing that I think was pretty cool, though, is the steering wheel is a Coke steering aid. So I actually talked to my grandpa about this, and he said these tractors steer like a bitch. Like, if you get one of these tires stuck in a rut, it's gonna yank the steering wheel right out of your hand. But what this Coke steering wheel does is it's got gears in here, kind of to dampen that reflex if you get your wheel stuck, so that you're not, you know, ripping your arms off practically. So this has been updated to 12-volt system. So obviously you could tell that with the alternator. The one thing that we're thinking we might need to replace, but I'm just going to work on cleaning it up, is the radiator. But we'll see if it can hold liquid. If it holds liquid, then we're not going to do anything with it. No point in. Don't fix what's not broken. So yeah, that's the gist of it. Not the most exciting thing, but it kind of brings back nostalgia for me. Just because, like I said, I grew up around tractors, and I think it's going to be a fun little project. And honestly, I definitely enjoy that we saved another guy from a monotonous life of being in a museum. I mean, who wants to do that? So yeah, but we've actually started looking at some of the parts, and oh my god, we could probably rebuild this if we really wanted to from the ground up and spend maybe $1,000. Like, tractor parts are super cheap. So here we have our latch, our hood latch. There we go with the gas tank, obviously. We took the battery out of it, but we'll put that back in when we get to it. As I said, the radiator, don't know if it'll hold liquid. I mean, we're just gonna put liquid in there, see what happens. I might take it off and clean it if it does hold any fluid at all, but we will see, because like I said, poor guy's been sitting a while, so we'll see what happens. And this one's pretty hard too, so I'm probably gonna replace that as well. Yeah, so far what I've heard from every person about Fergusons is they're pretty damn sturdy little guys. So I think it's gonna be fun, and I think it's going to be reliable once we get it going. I mean, it's already running. We just got a few things that we need to fix about it. But yeah, we'll keep you posted on the little bits and projects here and there. Once we get the dead wood out of the garage, this guy's going in next, so we can get those tires on, front tires, and possibly get this back tire changed out, change out some of the hoses, and see if I can't get some yard mowed and possibly start plowing some lines for some trees. So, till next time.